misty water, color memories of the way we were.
I have a lot of fun with. It's a series of stories that I have written, and I call it Fables for a Seventh Son. These Fables for a Seventh Son are stories written by a father for his seventh son. And because he wanted to be sure that the last son received the same loving attention that the first and second and third sons and so on received when the father was younger. So I wrote these stories to please my seventh son, and usually they have a moral or some lesson to teach. So if by some chance I'm not able to complete the raising of this seventh son, at least the values and lessons learned in a life could be preserved for his training, and perhaps they could be shared with grandsons or maybe even their sons. So here's one of the stories, Fables for a Seventh Son. And this one's about some other pioneers in a wagon. Not quite as far back as the 49ers, but anyway, back in the 30s, the 1930s. The title is The Wagon Family. It was winter during the Depression when they came to the ranch asking for a place to camp. Daddy said that they were welcome to wood and water, and he gave them bundles of cane for their tired-looking horses. Their home was an old wagon with a canvas top, and so I called them the Wagon Family. That's the only name I remember. It was fun having new children to play with on our Crossell Ranch. They stayed in the draw north of the barn, and we met in the cow pens at milking time. They cooked on a mesquite fire, and they ate rabbits and birds and made biscuits in a Dutch oven covered with ashes and hot coals. I sat on the ground while the daddy told us about California, where they were going to live in a house. And their mama was sick, and she was fat. And grandfather had something called TB, and he lay on a mattress in the wagon where everybody slept. One day she wasn't sick anymore, and she smiled and was happy, and she had a new baby all wrinkled and red. In our house, Mama made little clothes on a machine that she ran with her foot. And the Wagon Family were our neighbors, a little down on their luck. I didn't want spring to come when they would move on past the Pecos and leave me behind. They talked about the ocean and the mountains and trees in California, and it all sounded like so much fun. Mama went out into the night with a lantern one night to visit their place, and when she came back she brought the baby and the kids, and she fed them and made them pallets in front of the fire. The next morning at breakfast she told them that their grandfather was dead, and so they cried, and we cried with them. They washed the grandfather and wrapped him in sheets. Up on the north pasture they buried him in a hole in the ground where the big cholla, a kind of cactus, grew. And they found a rock for a marker and faced him toward the east where Jesus will come when he raises the dead. And soon it was spring and the grass turned green, and one morning the Wagon Family was gone. And I was lonesome, so I walked past their old camp and then to the cholla where the grandfather's grave was. And that waxy green cactus was now a watermelon pink, covered with flowers and busy with honeybees, and a little brown wren was building her nest. Grandfather wasn't sick anymore, just waiting for Jesus, in the prettiest place on the ranch. A little boy knows that winter passes and old folks die and are left behind, so babies can grow up in the sunshine where the orange trees live. And oh yes, God, bless the mamas and the papas who drive their wagons to better places than they left. And that's a fable for a seventh son. I hope you liked it. I've been writing these things for a long time, years and years, and write them for my own son, and if you liked it, I'd be glad to share it with you. If you enjoy that story, I'd like to share it with you, and just like I read it here on the program. If you want written copies, just send $1 to XERF, Del Rio, Texas, to Fable, F-A-B-L-E, and give the title of the story if you want it sent to you, and that one I just read was The Wagon Family.